Shalom Aleichem Rabbatai, peace unto you. I'm Rabbi Kaba. We are learning ancient wisdom from Jewish scripture for modern life. We are on Ketuvot, marriage contracts, page 15. And today we're discussing a case which is sort of a continuation of the past few days. We've been talking about when we believe a woman, if she shows up pregnant and she tells us who the father was, when we can believe her. Now, today we bring a case that's a bit different. What if this woman was with a man, but she doesn't know who it was, or unfortunately she was violated, she doesn't know who the man was. The question is if we can rely upon the fact that the majority of the men in the area, or the ones passing through that area, are genealogically fit, meaning if they had relations with a woman, they wouldn't make her unfit to then marry a Kohen, a priest. So can we rely on that majority or not? And the Gemara compares a troubling case, a case where we find an abandoned infant in the city. And the teaching rules, if the majority of the city is pagans, we assume the infant was a pagan. If the majority of the city was a Jewish population, we can assume the child was Jewish. And if it's half and half, we consider it out of doubt to be Jewish. So we see in that case, we do rely on the simple majority. Now you should know, even if the Jews found a baby in an overwhelmingly pagan city, in Rome for instance, and it's pretty certain that it's a pagan child, and the child of idol worshippers who have abandoned this baby to die or maybe be adopted, we do still take care of the child. We feed him and clothe him and raise him and educate him. And this is one of the enactments of our sages because of Tikkun Olam. They might have heard of Tikkun Olam before. It literally means repairing the world, and sometimes people invoke Tikkun Olam for all sorts of causes. What it really means is setting a good example. So in this sense, Tikkun Olam means we take care of an abandoned child, we give charity, tzedakah, we provide for people regardless of their nationality or religion. We are Bikur Cholim, we visit the sick, we heal the sick, we take care of them regardless of their faith, and we bury the dead even if they're not Jewish. Now, all of these activities set an example for other people to emulate, so the entire world becomes a better place. We take care of sick people of another faith, and they'll take care of the sick of our faith and of other faiths, and everyone benefits from this form of Tikkun Olam, this living the best example so other people follow in the footsteps. So we do take care of a child, even if we're pretty sure statistically he's a pagan. So it seems we can rely on the majority, though the Gemara says by marrying a priest, a Kohen, it might be a little different. They have a higher standard, but it's a troubling Gemara. Why would we be finding a child, an infant, cast out to the street to perhaps die or be eaten, God forbid? And it turns out, contemporary historians tell us, this was not that rare in ancient times. Among the ancient Greeks, Spartans particularly, commonly abandoned children that they considered to be weak or feeble and weren't going to make great Spartan warriors. They would be left to be eaten by animals. In Roman times, it's estimated 20 to 30% of births were abandoned. This doesn't always mean they were literally abandoned to be eaten. Sometimes they'd be put in a basket with a note that said, please adopt the baby. Maybe, if they're lucky, they'd become adopted, but they could be also, God forbid, eaten by wild animals. That was not unheard of. And this was commonly used if the child had some sort of illness or birth defect, or had come from an adulterous union or incestuous issue or something going on, or if, God forbid, the family just couldn't afford another mouth to feed, they try to get the child adopted, but often children were left literally to die or be food for animals. It's a very unfortunate situation. But it's a reminder that in modern times, when we have safe, reliable contraceptives, we have birth control, that it's very important for a man and his wife to talk this issue over and to really have a deep, meaningful discussion about bringing children into the world before they try to bring children into the world. Now, I am a rabbi, but I'm not your rabbi. So if you want to discuss birth control, you need to go to your local Orthodox rabbi, the rabbi you have a personal relationship with who knows your life situation, and have the husband and the wife and the rabbi sit down and talk out the issue about using birth control and about family planning. It is an important issue with a lot of halachic ramifications, a lot of details of Jewish law about it. But in general, men need to be aware that before you do the act that might bring a new soul into the world, that you think carefully about what you're doing, because you might bring a child into the world. Are you psychologically and emotionally ready for that? And if not, what steps have you taken to make sure that that's not going to happen yet if you're not yet ready for that? These are really vital issues to think about and something to appreciate in modern times, modern medical science, where we don't have these issues typically, thank God, of children being abandoned on the streets. So it's a bit of a heavy daf today, some very heavy topics today, and hopefully we'll be all the wiser for them. God bless. Please remember to like and subscribe.